Hello, my name is Emma Soulsby and I'm the Director of Music. I'm extremely passionate about my subject because I know it's transformative and often life-changing. I liken music to the moment in the first Harry Potter film where he thinks he's going to Diagon Alley to choose his wand. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll know that actually what really happens is that the wand chooses him. And I think the same can be said for music. Music chooses you, and once it's got you, you're kind of hooked. And I think there are few subjects where you get the opportunity to develop such a diverse skill set. You get to be a composer, a performer, an analyst, an interpreter, a philosopher and a writer, all from the same subject. That's pretty special. There are 2 full-time teachers in the department, as well as a large number of visiting music teachers. I studied at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire and Mr. Wantling studied at Oxford Brookes. I think we complement each other pretty well, as we've realised that between us, we have just about every genre of music covered. The music school has its own separate building with fantastic facilities. We are very, very lucky. There are 2 classrooms, one with PCs that include Sibelius and mixed craft software. There is an A-level teaching room with Macs, including Sibelius and Logic software. There's a recital hall with a Steinway grand piano, harpsichord and organ, plus 10 practice rooms, all with Yamaha upright pianos. There are also 2 larger practice rooms, one of which is used as a percussion room and the other as a rehearsal space for chamber groups. There are a full range of instruments in the department, including keyboards, ukuleles, classroom and orchestral percussion, djembe, samba, and even a full-size gamelan orchestra. I enjoy the diversity that comes from teaching music, and I especially love incorporating aspects of music pedagogy into my lessons, such as the Kodály method and Dalcroze eurythmics. The teaching of the syllabus is split between both members of staff, and our focus is very much on developing both creative and academic skills in a practical way. It's genuinely difficult for me to choose one area of music as my favourite. I enjoy all of it. No one lesson is the same, so across the week the students might create their own music and learn specific compositional techniques. They might listen to and analyse set pieces of music covering vocal, instrumental and fusion styles, as well as pieces from the genres of pop, jazz and film. They might perform on their instrument or research a particular composer, or make written comparisons and connections between the set works and wider listening, or have a debate about which style of music is best or which performance or composition is best. The list could go on and on. I love teaching A-level music primarily because of the students, who are talented, well-motivated and enthusiastic. They ask lots of questions, are keen to learn and want to get the best experience from being here that they possibly can. It's fair to say that they are naturally curious about everything, and they've also discovered how easy it is to get me sidetracked as a result. But I think that is actually a really good thing, as it's important for the students to witness my own enthusiasm and for us to go beyond the syllabus at times. I encourage them to read and listen further, highlighting podcasts, documentaries and books that I think are well worth delving into. As a result, our classroom conversations can often spark what I call off-piste moments, and there is one in particular that I'd like to share. I previously lived and worked in Singapore, which is a melting pot of different cultures, and one of my favourite areas to visit is known as Little India. I used to wander down Serangoon Road, sampling the local food and visiting some of the beautiful temples. The sounds of the sitar and tabla were usually not too far away, and I learnt a great deal about Indian classical music from being there. One of the set works for A-level is a collection of compositions by Anushka Shankar, Ravi Shankar's daughter. In a recent lesson, I talked about the genre, but we then went on to improvise around a set pattern of notes, known as a raga, and a rhythmic pattern called a tala, trying to recreate the sounds and structure of Indian classical music. It was definitely an off-piste moment, but a very creative and memorable one. At the high school, we have a fantastic wealth of extracurricular musical activities that are open to any student in the sixth form. These include large ensembles such as big band, orchestra and concert band, as well as chamber music groups. We successfully participate in the National Concert Band Festival and Pro Corda Chamber Music Festival every year, our groups often getting through to the finals. There is also a huge singing tradition here, with something to suit every taste, from the more traditional chamber choir to pop choir, as well as our a cappella and barbershop groups. We believe strongly in the power of musical performance to enrich and enhance the cultural capital of our students, and there is an extensive concert programme to support this. The students here love to perform, and there are numerous opportunities throughout the year for them to do so. We also have a successful primary outreach programme from our sixth form musicians to get involved in, and professional musicians come into school regularly to run masterclasses and give recitals. Last year we welcomed the wonderful Magnard Ensemble and pianist Tim Horton, and this year we are extremely excited to announce the Ligeti Quartet as our quartet in residence, as well as an upcoming masterclass and recital from the amazing Roderick Williams. I'm also itching to get the students back into concert venues and some of our bands back on tour as soon as possible. Our visits play an important role within our enrichment programme. After studying music at A-level, a number of our students go on to complete music degrees at the top conservatoires and universities. Our most recent students are currently studying at the Royal Northern College of Music and Birmingham University. Previous alumni have gone on to become successful composers, performers, sound engineers, lecturers, writers and teachers. If you're considering A-level music, I would encourage you to think about the many positive ways in which it will challenge you to be more creative, to develop independent thought, and to bring a deeper knowledge and understanding in which to discover your own musical language and style. As Stevie Wonder famously said, music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand.
I'm Dan, I'm studying maths, further maths, physics and music. My favourite thing about studying music is the diversity of the lessons. Inside lesson time we will do everything from score analysis and music theory to composition and listening to music that isn't on the exam syllabus. The best lessons for me are when we get to listen to lots of other music. One of the key parts of the written paper is being able to draw on pieces of music outside of the set works, which means we will spend whole lessons listening to pieces that we can use in the necessary questions. We study all kinds of music, so within wider listening you will be able to look at music that you already know and like, as well as whole styles that are completely new to you. One surprising thing about the course is linked to what I just talked about. There is a massive diversity of music we study. Among the set works we look at is pop music like Kate Bush and the Beatles, jazz by an artist called Courtney Pine, but also Mozart, Bach, Vaughan Williams, Debussy and Berlioz from the classical world. You will almost definitely find a piece of music that you really like on the set work list. The music facilities at the school are second to none. We have lots of practice rooms that will be available for you to use at any time, as well as a purpose-built recital hall complete with a grand piano. As a sixth former, you will get a classroom for only sixth formers that has Apple Macs, in that will be free for you to work at in any time, providing there's a lesson not taking place. The school has a quartet in resident who you will get the chance to work with over the course of the years. There will be chances to do composition workshops within them, as well as to write pieces for them to play. This is a wonderful experience to hear your own music be played by a professional quartet. On top of this, there are visits from musicians throughout the years who will give lunchtime recitals, as well as spending the day working with instrumentalists. The recital is open to anyone, regardless of whether they take part in Music A-level. On top of this, there are chances for anyone who plays an instrument to play in ensembles and perform in the extensive concert and competition programme. As a Music A-level student, you will get taught by both the music teachers at the school. Mrs. Soulsby is a classically trained violinist and Mr. Wantling is a jazz-trained saxophonist and vocalist. They split the course between them and played to their strengths, Mr. Wantling focusing on the jazz, pop, vocal and film music, while Mrs. Soulsby teaches classical, instrumental, fusions and new directions. There isn't really a typical lesson in music given the range of content we could cover. A typical anthology lesson would be looking at a score, discussing it and analysing it as we go. On the other end of the spectrum, we do get lessons where we are left to our own devices for an hour composing, or we might spend an hour learning how to write harmony in the style of a Bach chorale, or further developing oral and listening skills. There really is a bit of everything. You will get a substantial amount of homework, however nothing unreasonable. All of the homework is necessary to further knowledge and is worthwhile in the long run. Over the course of a typical week, you might get a short theory or harmonisation exercise, some practice questions, and maybe a longer piece. This longer piece might range from background research about a composer to a composition or wider listening notes. This is not a hard and fast rule, however. Sometimes you'll get more, sometimes you'll have less. Music is a wonderfully diverse subject in where you can take it. I personally want to study maths and engineering, but you really can go anywhere with it. Just because you want to study music after leaving school shouldn't discourage you from taking it at A level. I would advise anyone taking A-level music to fully immerse yourself in all kinds of music, as well as to think about why you like music and why you like that music. The other thing is to make sure that you enjoy music, not just listening it, but also playing it.